Hawaii escapes major damage after tsunami warning from massive earthquake. Imagine the terror as the ocean starts to rise ominously along the coast, a harbinger of the powerful forces unleashed by a massive earthquake far beneath the waves. This wasn't just any tremor. It struck off the remote east coast of Russia's Kamchatka Peninsula, sending shockwaves rippling across the globe. From Japan to Hawaii, from the U.S. West Coast to Chile, the threat of a tsunami was very real, prompting evacuations and heightening fears. In Russia, the quake struck with such force that it was caught on video, shaking a hospital during surgery. As cliffs crumbled and toppled into the sea, the ocean responded with a fury, swelling into towering waves that surged inland, flooding ports and carrying buildings away. It was nature's raw power on full display, a spectacle both mesmerizing and terrifying. But here's where it gets controversial. While the earthquake was indeed massive, the resulting tsunami wasn't the apocalyptic disaster many feared. According to marine geophysicist Simon Boxall from the University of Southampton, it's like throwing a very large rock into the sea. The waves spread out, but they weren't huge. It's not one that's going to cause mass devastation, he explains, but it will cause coastal flooding, and it will cause damage. And it does put lives at risk if people don't move to high ground. This is the part most people miss. Tsunamis aren't always the giant walls of water we see in movies. It can be subtle, creeping inland slowly but surely, and that's where the real danger lies, in underestimating their power. So, what do you think? Are we too focused on the Hollywood version of tsunamis? Or do you believe that even smaller ones can pose a significant threat? Share your thoughts below. Breaking. Hawaii tsunami advisory lifted after 8.7 million earthquake in Russia. Full update. Imagine waking up to the news that a tsunami advisory has been issued for your state after a massive earthquake halfway around the world. That's exactly what happened to Hawaii residents on a seemingly ordinary Wednesday morning. But here's where it gets controversial. Despite the initial alarm, many people might not fully understand the difference between a tsunami advisory and a warning, or what actions they should take in each scenario. And this is the part most people miss. The subtle nuances of tsunami alerts can mean the difference between life and death. Late Tuesday night, the tsunami warning for Hawaii was downgraded to an advisory level following an 8.7 magnitude earthquake that struck Kamchatka, Russia. While the initial threat seemed dire, officials worked tirelessly to keep the public informed and safe. As of 10 p.m., Dr. Chip McCreary, a renowned tsunami expert, reassured the public that Hawaii had passed the worst of the tsunami. However, with a cautious eye on the ocean, authorities urged continued vigilance near beaches, harbors, and tidal areas. The earthquake, which occurred off the east coast of Russia at approximately 1:25 p.m. on July 29, 2025, generated a tsunami that could potentially cause damage along coastlines of all Hawaiian islands. The National Weather Service, NWS, reported that the earliest arrival of the first tsunami wave was estimated to be 7:10 p.m. in Hanalei, Kauai, with subsequent waves hitting the rest of Hawaii at 7:17 p.m. If you find yourself caught in gridlock on a coastal road, the advice is clear. Walk to higher ground or seek refuge at least 100 feet above sea level or 2 miles inland. Alternatively, you can evacuate vertically to the 4th floor or higher of a tall building. As the situation unfolded, officials provided a comprehensive evacuation plan. The public was urged to leave evacuation zones immediately and seek safety in designated shelters. For those with pets, it's crucial to bring a kennel, food, and water for your furry friends. The tsunami advisory brought about significant disruptions to travel and daily life. Multiple flights were delayed or canceled, and evacuation routes were opened to ease traffic congestion. However, the situation was handled efficiently, with state workers given the option to leave early, and residents encouraged to follow evacuation protocols. The differences between a tsunami info statement, watch, advisory, and warning are crucial to understand. A tsunami information statement means an earthquake has occurred, but there is no threat or it was very far away. A tsunami watch indicates that a tsunami may be generated, while an advisory warns of strong currents and waves. A warning, the most severe alert, means a tsunami with potential for widespread inundation is imminent. As we continue to monitor the situation, it's clear that preparation, communication, and a deep understanding of tsunami alerts are key to keeping communities safe. What are your thoughts on the tsunami advisory in Hawaii? Do you think the public was adequately informed? Share your opinions in the comments below. Did the U.S. feel the impact of the Kamchatka tsunami? Understanding the facts and forecasts. When a massive earthquake struck off Russia's Kamchatka Peninsula, it sent a tsunami racing towards the U.S. at jetliner speeds. But despite warnings and evacuations, the waves that reached Hawaii and the West Coast were much smaller than feared. Some may think the warnings were overblown, but experts say this was actually a tsunami forecasting success story. Here's the thing. When most people hear tsunami warning, they picture the Hollywood version with huge, devastating waves. So when the reality is a 3-foot wave, it seems like a false alarm. But those smaller waves can still be dangerous, especially near shallow waters. A 5-foot tsunami surge can travel tens of meters inland, creating deadly currents that can drown people and damage boats. In this case, the forecast models did a good job predicting the tsunami's impact. They forecasted 2-meter waves in Hawaii, which was pretty close to what actually hit 1.5 meters. The models rely on data from a network of ocean buoys and seismometers to make these predictions in just a couple hours. And while it will take some time to fully assess, initial reports suggest the flooding matched the forecasts. So why evacuate for a 5-foot wave? Better safe than sorry. Tsunami warnings are designed to err on the side of caution. As one researcher put it, we shouldn't poo-poo the warnings just because the worst-case scenario didn't happen this time. The fact is, this tsunami could have been a lot worse. The Kamchatka quake was initially reported as magnitude 8.0, but later upgraded to 8.8. That may not seem like a big difference, but it means the quake released nearly 16 times more energy. For comparison, the devastating 2011 Tohoku earthquake in Japan was even bigger, releasing 2 to 3 times more energy than Kamchatka. So while this tsunami wasn't historic, it was still a powerful reminder of the threat posed by subduction zone quakes. The U.S. West Coast sits on top of a similar fault, the Cascadia subduction zone, which is capable of producing much larger quakes and tsunamis. In a worst-case scenario, Cascadia could send 100-foot waves crashing into the coast. That's why experts say we need to invest in better tsunami forecasting and preparedness. This event showed the value of NOAA's warning system. Without it, we would have been caught off guard. But there's still room for improvement, like adding more seafloor sensors and using AI to speed up the models. Because next time, the tsunami could be a lot closer to home.